Hi guys, I wanted to come talk to you guys today about how I make my Shakeology. I know that there's a bunch of recipes out there. I know a lot of folks have used meal replacement shakes in the past, but Shakeology is a little bit different. And a lot of the recipes that are out there I've tried and have not necessarily enjoyed. So I just wanted to give you guys kind of a good base recipe to try with a lot of different flavors that might be helpful, especially when you're first starting out, to figure out if there's something that you like. Again, tons of different recipes, have fun with it, find what works for you. What works for me won't necessarily work for you. You won't necessarily like everything that I like, but I think sometimes it's overwhelming to figure out how to get started, or at least a recipe to start with. I know a lot of folks ask me too how to prepare Shakeology. There's also a lot of different ways to do that. And so I'm just going to show you how I do mine and the consistency and such that results in, to give you guys an idea of, one way to do it. I know some folks use a blender bottle. Some people, shake it up with ice. I know a lot of different contraptions are out there to mix up a meal replacement shake, but for me, nothing beats a blender. When I hear shake, I really want something of a milkshake consistency. So, not to get ahead of myself, I'm gonna go ahead and show you just one of my go-to recipes. So I have landed on chocolate Shakeology as my favorite. I really love variety in my life. One of the things that I love about Shakeology is that just because there are bags that you can buy for a whole month doesn't necessarily mean you have to go with the bag, or necessarily that you have to eat the same flavor every single day. So one of the things that I started out doing was getting packets. So you notice I've got this handy dandy little bin next to my blender, and I have different Shakeology packets and different things that I like to mix in. So sometimes I really kind of go wild, mix in some vanilla pudding powder. I have some mint extract in there. Lots of different things just as go-tos. This one happens to be banana cream. I have cookies and cream in here, as well as cheesecake. So the cheesecake mix, I only use a teaspoon of those at a time if I go with one of those recipes, but something like a strawberry Shakeology with some mixed berries and a little teaspoon of cheesecake jello mix. Not the cleanest recipe in the world, but pretty delicious. So, and a lot better than a lot of the junk that you'll get if you just mix yourself up a protein powder on an off-the-shelf protein shake with an off-the-shelf protein powder. So, again, my favorite is the chocolate, so I have a bag of that sitting around. And then I use unsweetened vanilla almond milk, the kind that has 30 to 40 calories in it a cup. And then I use a banana, and I always mix it with ice in a blender. So I'm just gonna show you how I do that. I also have just had, very silly mix-ups with getting my ice to crush and things like that. So I just kind of have found a perfect little way, and I wanna show you guys how that works. So first up is my banana. Now, if you guys saw my video on my pre-race fuel or my pre-run fuel, you'll notice that on the mornings that I run, I eat half of this banana and then I put the other half in the freezer and use just half of a frozen banana for my Shakeology shake. Today was not one of those mornings. I did upper fix this morning, so I actually have a full banana still to use. So I just put this in first. I've noticed that banana slices are pretty easy to blend in a blender, so I put that in first because it tends to not lock up my my blender blades. Then I put in my scoop or my packet of Shakeology. Honestly, this particular recipe I will use with just about any Shakeology flavor. So even a vanilla, a strawberry, I will just use a scoop or a packet with a banana and some ice as well. One of the things that I found necessary was the use of banana. I know not everybody likes the taste of banana, but one of the things that I found surprising at first was since Shakeology doesn't have a lot of the sweeteners or artificial sweeteners that are in protein powder, it's not naturally sweet. There are some fruit extracts and stuff that give it just a tiny bit of sweetness, but it wasn't enough for me, certainly not enough for me to feel like I was getting a milkshake or something, you know, a delicious part of my day. So I always use a banana to give it that extra jolt of sweetness. So then I use a full 8 ounces of vanilla almond milk, the unsweetened vanilla almond milk. And I put that in next. And then I am old-fashioned or behind the 8 ball when it comes to fancy ice. So I just have ice trays, and I use about 5 half cubes. So my husband, I kind of drive him crazy because I will make ice and only fill the cubes up halfway so that I have good Shakeology ice, because the full cubes I have trouble blending. So I use like 4 or 5, 4 to 6 depending on the size, ice cubes. And then my blender has an auto smoothie button. I know most blenders don't, my previous blender doesn't, but one of the important things to keep in mind is that you need to blend this for 30 seconds to a minute. My auto smoothie button blends it for 45 seconds and it's perfect. So I know folks who have said things are like gritty or chalky before, and I really find that that's because you haven't blended it long enough. So make sure that you give this a really good blend so that everything gets really mixed up. The ice and the banana especially will help it stay creamy. Okay, I turned the camera off during the blending because that's 45 seconds of noise you didn't need. So anyway, it's all blended, and my blender has this little spout, which is fun. I actually love this so much, I usually take the lid off and scrape it out too. It's delicious. So I just wanted to show you guys the consistency. So if you notice, it's a little bit thicker than pure liquid. So if you had just mixed it with almond milk and didn't add the ice or the banana, it would be, you know, just like kind of like chocolate milk. But when you add the ice and the banana, it really makes it a creamy milkshake-like consistency, which is my favorite. Again, I'm going to go in here and scrape all this out, and it fills it up about this much. So it's a good amount, nice and filling, and with that banana, it's really sweet and delicious. And with the ice especially, makes it nice and cold. So actually what I'll do most days is put this in the freezer just while I'm finishing getting ready. So it stays in the freezer maybe 10-15 minutes. They do suggest that you drink it within an hour, but 10-15 minutes just to chill it, thicken it up just a little bit more. I'm telling you, I really like it. Really tasting like a milkshake. So I put it in 10-15 minutes in the freezer and then grab it on my way out the door. On the days that I'm not planning on putting peanut butter on celery and eating that as a nighttime snack, so that's one of my go-to evening snacks is natural peanut butter and celery, I'll put a tablespoon of peanut butter in here too. So it kind of tastes like a Reese's cup. Super delicious, and I hope you enjoy it.